Hey, Reflections. I've been having an interesting few days. Thank you guys for all of the wonderful comments. I've been getting such awesome feedback, and that's how I feel that people that have been to DMT space a few times differ from the rest of the world. I find like the rest of the world just constantly fighting all the time, and it's really interesting. I almost find that it's insanity, like fighting with somebody that's a reflection of you. That's a little crazy. But today I wanted to talk about my last experience again, because I feel that I learned something new. I'm going to take DMT again, just after something as great as that experience. It's going to be really hard to to digest all of it, integrate it into, myself, and reflect on it. And once I feel the need, I will do it again. But until then, I'll be researching other entheogens. But yeah, so some of my reflections that are awesome mentioned Alan Watts. And of course, you guys know what Alan Watts is if you're here. I mean, if you don't, look up Alan Watts. But yeah, somebody had mentioned Alan Watts, and I remember listening to a lecture that he had done on Satori. And it was Satori and physical distress, natural physical distress, and that's how people had Satori if they were accepting their circumstances of death. And I really feel like that's how my DMT trip started, because I was going into DMT space at a really, really high speed, and it was just too much. It felt like it was just too much for me. And at that point that I was there, I had to accept it. And as soon as I did accept it, I felt it was like I saw every single event that had led up to that event. And I saw how everything was synchronistic and perfect. And nothing in my life was by accident. And everything that I ever experienced was necessary for me to get to that exact moment in time where I was. And it not only that, but I also felt like it was my natural born right to have this experience. And as soon as I accepted it, it was accepting the experience. And that's why, whenever people tell me, oh, well, I'm trying to, hold back, I'm trying to hold back, I don't want to get too deep, I'm trying to hold my emotions. I always tell them, don't do that. Like, you are not going to have the full effects if you hold back, you just have to accept. And it was it was the first time I was conscious of letting go and accepting the fate, which is DMT space. But I felt that this whole, my whole life was all about this one singular event. You know what I mean? It was all about, I realized the reason, I mean, I broke through in DMT before, but not like this. Not like this. It's never been this intense that I completely lost myself. Like, I did not know where I was at all. Um, And that was, you know, really interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it for a while because I got so far into it. Like, I got so far into DMT space, and I want my reflections to chime in and to tell me if they've gotten this far in DMT space. But I got so far that I was realizing that life is a game, and I am here just to play this game, and that's it. There's nothing else to life except playing this game. And I realized that every single person that was part of this game was a reflection of me. And I'm pretty sure other people would have the same experience. And if that means that everybody's having this same experience, realizing that everything is connected, I mean, it must be true, man. It must be true. And that's when I started getting scared, because I realized that not only was everything perfect, everything was as it's supposed to be, but I realized that once you realize the game, once you realize the game, it's time to go. And in my DMT trip, it was time to go. Like, you know, my friend was like, let's go. Let's go home. You know, what are you still doing here? You know the game. It doesn't make any sense. You know, and I was just terrified. I was terrified. And it's really weird to be terrified, because if that's all it is, if that's all life is, I mean, I'm going to have to face death. Whether it's a freak accident or, you know, when I'm older, you know. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. As soon as I did DMT, like, I'd say right now it's a month ago. It's a month ago. Um, the the weeks leading after the weeks after the DMT experience, I'd say in 1 week I almost died twice. In the other week I almost, you know, just my life was so I got put into places where I got put into situations where, like, I had 3 near-death experiences in like 1 month. And that scared the shit out of me. That scared the shit out of me. You know, it's just, I'm like, you know, I don't know what's going on here. Like, why is it? And I'll tell you, the first time around, it was a near fire. Thank God I know that fire needs oxygen. But it was, you know, it was, ooh. The second time around, and this is in the same week, somebody, like a taxi cab driver, almost hit me. You know, like legit, like almost was like right at me, and like was really mad at me and was like screaming at me. And I'm like, you would hurt me just to get this red light? And he was breaking the law. He was, you know, it was a red light and he was still turning, and he's like, yes. And I'm like, wow. Like, that's when I was like, wow, is this where we're living? Is this what the times are at this point, where like people just don't care? Like, they rather make the light and kill somebody. And the third time, it was being in a cab, actually, and almost getting into an accident. And I mean, like, it was like a car was here, and the guy went like in between, and there were by two sides. Like, it almost happened again, and that was literally this week. So really interesting stuff, guys. I'm really understanding the fleeting nature, which is life, you know. So that's also been happening. And another thing that's been happening is my I hate to get all new agey, but Hmm. It is what it is. My crown chakra has been opening right there. My third eye chakra and my throat has been opening all at the same time. And it hurts because I could feel it pulsating like in the middle of my head, like right in the center of my head, right on the top of my skull, and right in the center of my throat. And it really hurts. It's like a pounding and like somebody's like screwing something into your head, but mm, I'm a tough cookie. But yeah, I'm just super impressed by like how thoughtful my reflections are, and it's like the world's going to shit, man. I mean, people are fighting about such stupidity. It really is insanity. I really see the world for how insane it really is, and I tend to be quiet about it in my everyday life because people think I'm crazy. Like, I already know I'm crazy. Like, I've done DMT 6 times, man. I'm a fucking lunatic. I just don't see things the way other people do, and it's so funny when people get so angry that you don't necessarily agree with what everybody else agrees with. But I mean, that's free will. That's what we choose. So here's some books to read. I have some good ones for you today. The first one is Mind Reach by Russell Targ. It's basically a book on the studies that the Defense of Intelligence Agency. I'm sorry, I read this book months ago, and it's hard for me to retain stuff sometimes. So anyway, this was about remote viewing, the studies they had on remote viewing, on telepathy, psychic ability, and a whole bunch of cool stuff that they had researched. So this is all scientific, and the scientific evidence that this really does exist, and it's a great, great, great book. The next book that I read that is also equally amazing, The Mystery School in Hyperspace by Graham St. John. The Cultural History of DMT. Now, this book has a foreword from Dennis McKenna. It's a really good book. I think it was missing a little bit more. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just have too many questions. But it's still a really good book, The History of DMT, different places and like trips. Pick this up. It's good. You'll like it. The next one is Peak Hall, A Chemical Love Story. This is a good book. Guys, if you're into chemistry, get this book. This is why I didn't get the book because of the love story. I didn't get the book because of the first part. I got the book because of the chemicals. And there's just so many chemicals in here. It's crazy. Half the book is just on trip reports and the chemicals and how to make the chemicals. And I must say, oh, this was written by Alexander Shulgin and Anne Shulgin. And Anne is a badass. Like, seriously, she's such a badass. She does not care. She was like completely testing everything out and basically observing, and she's such a badass because it was basically just testing research chemicals and not really caring. Yeah, she's amazing, and a lot of it's really good. I mean, there's tryptamines. They tell you how to make MDMA. Great book. I didn't find DMT in it, but there were tryptamines in there. So get this book if you like chemistry and if you want to know how some of the chemicals are made. Really good book. So, yeah, reflections. I'm so happy. I've been really blissful. It's been really crazy with the full moon, but I've been having some really interesting dreams. lots of crazy lucid dreams, especially like when I go to sleep. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Bye, Reflections.